Moving on to the night slate. Saturday night, we got Fresno State versus San Diego State in the Mountain West. This is a good matchup here. Looks like we got a 47 as the total pretty much across the board, and the Aztecs laying 7 in the hook. So minus 7.5 at SBR odds right now, pretty much across the board at every sports book. Looks like this one's going to be broadcast on CBS Sports Network, the night slate, the nightcap on Saturday night. So Ed, how are you looking to bet this one?
So this number really jumped out at me, that the San Diego State Aztecs, one of the best so-called mid-major programs, is only a 7-point favorite against Fresno State, one of the worst teams in FBS last year. But I started looking into it, and I think Fresno State is one of the most interesting stories in college football this year. They went 1-11 last year, got the head coach fired in the middle of the season. They brought in Jeff Tedford, who's the old Cal coach, and it didn't really look like they could do much. This team out of the Mountain West was dead last in a lot of offensive categories last year. What I look at as yards per play adjusted for strength of schedule. But they were really bad on offense. So Tedford comes in, and he brings in the offensive coordinator from Eastern Michigan and started a quarterback for 3 weeks. But then in week 4, started Marcus McManion. So this is a kid that was at Oregon State the last 3 years, graduated, didn't win the job, grad transferred in August to Fresno State, took over the starting job in week 4, and they've been off and running, put up some pretty gaudy efficiency totals against both Nevada and another Mountain West opponent. So this is a team that was 128th in my offensive rankings last year. That's adjusted yards per play. They're up to 24th this season in this young season. And whenever you're looking, whenever you're looking at this kind of data, you kind of have to play this game. Well, is this signal or noise? Okay, so do we really believe that Fresno State is the 24th best offense in the nation, as the number suggests? And I'm leaning towards no. I don't think this team has quite made that jump. I mean, they're certainly better than 128th that they were last year. I think it's a fascinating story. I'm really interested to see what McManion can do with this team heading forward. But going down to San Diego, going to probably the best team in that conference, or one of the best teams out of the Power 5, I don't think 7.5 points is enough in this game.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. And the Aztecs minus 7.5, that's the way Ed's betting it. It's the nightcap on Saturday night. So looks like we got San Diego State minus 7.5, the over in the Akron-Toledo game, and also the Friday night game, Colorado State, New Mexico, over the total as well. So Ed, anything else college football-wise that's, I guess, top of mind for you?
Yeah, so I wanted to mention one other thing. So remember, Tedford brought in the offensive coordinator from EMU, from Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan has fallen off a cliff with their offense this year. They're awful. They're in like the 120s. So kind of suggests that the guy has made an impact there. I also wanted to mention members of my site get access to these totals numbers. So you can just go to thepowerrank.com and check that out. And then being here in Ann Arbor, everyone's a little bit nervous about Michigan going out to Penn State this weekend. It's a night game. It's going to be a whiteout. Michigan's offense actually played pretty well running the ball last week. But they have some issues at quarterback that everyone is kind of concerned about, and probably rightfully so. But it should be a heck of a game, the night game there. And yeah, excited to see what happens in there.
Yeah, that should be a good one. And Ed, just something I want to ask your opinion on. If UCF runs the table, do they deserve to be in the conversation to be in the 14 playoff?
Sure, why not? I mean, I'm always of the belief that it is really hard to run the table. And if you can do it, no matter what your schedule is, you deserve a shot. When you look at UCF, which, by the way, is a team that you've liked since the beginning of the season, Drew Martin, their numbers actually look pretty good. I wrote about them a little bit. I think, by some of my points-based metrics, they're a top 10 team right now. Scott Frost has done amazing things with that offense. They were, in the hundreds of their offense last year. And I kind of laughed at my friend Bill Connolly when he gave us this narrative preseason that everything that Scott Frost touches turns to gold, because that's what happened in his previous stints. I was like, dude, did you not look at their offensive numbers last year? They stunk. Well, in the offensive numbers, they're top 10 right now. And they're doing it with the same personnel from last year. McKenzie Milton is the quarterback. Same guy from last year that ran the 115th best offense. So, Drew, you know this team better than anyone. You've been on these guys since the beginning. I think when you were on my podcast, this was a team that you liked. You've been proven right.
Yeah, no. I thanks for the shout out on that. But I really just want to get different people's opinion on, if a team like that does run the table, to actually put them as one of the top 4 best teams. And I do think they are pretty underrated, even where they sit. And it shows what they're 100 points off in what the odds makers have projected their
right.
games to finish. I mean, that's pretty crazy. I don't know if it definitely doesn't happen very often in college football to be that far off at this point in the season. So I kind of factored that in as well. If the odds makers have been that far off, that maybe public perception's pretty far off. And I'm looking to bet them. I'm actually betting them against Navy this week in what could be their toughest test. Do you have any opinion on that game?
I mean, I'm not getting in front of UCS, Central Florida at this point in the season, no matter what my numbers say. Yeah, but in terms of the playoff, I've always thought that we should have a more strict, we can have a more strict criteria. If you go undefeated, you should make the top 4. That's.
Yeah, you could. Then you could have Sun Belt teams, though, run the table in the Sun Belt and not schedule anybody. So you'd have to make sure at least UCF, they scheduled Maryland, beat them. They'll have USF at the end of the season, Navy and Memphis. So it's not total terrible schedule.
Well, and they'll get someone in the American Championship game as well, I presume. So, yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. I think it adds a lot to college football to have these teams and to include them, even if they do get beat in the playoff. So I think it just adds to the sport.
Yeah, man. Well, just wanted to get your thoughts on that. And yeah, looks like we got 3 good plays here for man versus machine. Hopefully continue the hell of the run, Ed. Hats off to you, man. Been making money for all the SBR watchers here. So make sure to check Ed out at thepowerrank.com, on Twitter at thepowerrank. And Ed, if nothing else, man, we can close this out.
Sounds good. Looking forward to next week.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.